You still hear me? Christy? Hello, my friends. We are live with Frosty Eye Candy and Frost's The Joy of Pouring. We are just having a couple of technical difficulties being the first show, so if you've joined with us, please stay with us and we'll get this show on the road as soon as we have some people with us joining us. So please don't forget, if you are joining us live, you can open the live chat and you can be asking me questions and things like this while we're going live. So we have, hi Janice, nice to see you. Heather, hi Heather. Beverly, thank you so much for joining us, this is lovely. Milan, hello Milan. Tracy, hi Tracy, so glad you're with us. G, hi G. It's a frosty situation, absolutely Milan, yeah. Rhonda, hi Rhonda from the US, hi there. Shannon, hi Shannon. Good morning in Australia to Maya. Thank you so much for joining us, Maya. Nope. And there's Christy. Hey, I think I've got something in my ears now. Hi Christy, can you hear me? Yes, I can. No, that's brilliant. Excellent. If you want to man the chat rooms, that's great. So hi there again, Milan, Tracy. Snowy Edmonton today. Yes, I'm just getting a few of the little chats are popping up on my screen, Christy. Excellent. So we have about 24 people with us. So if we're just going to wait just maybe a minute or two, we're going to carry on with this. Natasha. Hi, Natasha from Belgium. Thank you so much for joining us. Judy. Good afternoon, Judy. Are you getting the double in the air? How's the chat room looking? Is there lots of people there? Hey, it's Jack. Hey, Jack, how's it going? Thank you so much for joining us, Jack. Excellent, Shannon. That's a wise move. Shannon's got the snacks. Hi, Sharon Kish. Thank you so much for joining us, Sharon. Thank you for loving my artwork. Linnell. Hi, Linnell from Wisconsin. Hi there, Linnell. Thank you so much for joining us. Suzanne. Hi, Suzanne. Thank you so much for joining us. Bless your heart. Okay, I think we're about 3 minutes in. We'll just wait another 30 seconds and we'll see if anyone else joins and we'll get this show on the road, okay, my friends? Jacqueline Wells, hi from Ohio. Thank you for joining us, Jacqueline. And Dark Knights Art Club, fantastic, that's awesome. Thank you for joining us, guys. Luciana, hello from Illinois. Ah, there you go. Christy, someone else from your neck of the woods there. So you're not getting the feedback anymore, right, Christy? Excellent, that's brilliant. Okay then, my friends. Oh, well, we're going to try and muddle through, okay, darling? I've just got Christy in my ear. She's helping me with the chat room and we're just ironing out the last few little technical difficulties here. So thank you so much for joining me, my friends. Frost's The Joy of Pouring. So I figure the best place really to start our Joy of Pouring is right at the beginning. That's why I had the little advert going out suggesting that you go and buy these very budget-friendly paints from the dollar store. And we are going to kind of split this show 50-50. We're going to do half of it with kind of very beginner stuff with the more budget-friendly paints. And then if there's enough requests and you guys want to do it, we'll move on to a more kind of advanced stage where we'll start using some piggies and some pillow paints and things like that. And we'll practice some different kind of techniques. But starting at the beginning, and the beginning as far as I'm concerned really, I've got to teach you one thing, and it's consistency is key. And that's again another reason why we've got these nice affordable dollar store paints. It's because they're all pretty much the identical consistency. So when we're doing these kind of pours and these basic pours, we want the consistency of our base layer and our colors to be exactly the same. So what we're going to do is also mention we're not going to be using silicone, just because I didn't want to send you guys out to buy something extra as well that we're never going to use again. And I can hear Christy giggling in my ear right now. So that's why we're not going to use silicone. This is really a test so we can, I can hear her laughing again, so we can get the consistency right and we can see the capabilities and more importantly, the limitations of these dollar store paints. So I'm just going to have a quick little sip of water. And we are going to get the camera pointing down. I'm not going to zip it. I'm going to carry on talking and we're going to start mixing up some paints. Okay, friends? Whoop, whoop. Sorry for the bad camera work right there. Sorry, friends. Hang on 1 second. There we go. Excellent. So I'm just going to sit myself down. So the first little beginner technique we're going to do, guys, is called an open cup. Now this is where we get one of these little solo cup shot glasses, not shot glass, but solo cup, and we cut the top off it and we make a base layer. We're going to make some white and we're going to make some black, and then we just sit this in the middle of the base layer on the canvas here like this, and then we pour our colors one by one into it and they come out underneath the base layer and pop up, and we're going to see how these paints do just on their own. Now I decided to get rid of the bits of the bits of old flooring that I was going to use to pour on, and I grabbed a couple of these little 8x10s from the dollar store. They're about $2 each, I believe. And I just thought if we've all got the same thing, then we're all doing the same thing, okay? So then we're going to mix up, well, first of all, what we're going to do is, if you guys don't have one of these, or don't have a solo cup to mix up in that we can cut the bottom off, I'm really sorry, sincere apologies. I should have told you that we're going to need something like this. If you don't have it and you can't follow along with the first part, please don't worry, please don't leave. The second part of the beginners little course, we're going to do a dirty pour where we just pour all of our colors into a cup and we have some real great fun with it. So first things first, I guess, guys, if you haven't got one of these, let's just make one of these. I have a craft knife here. We're going to hold the end very, very carefully, the end of the cup like this, and we're going to cut along at the 1 ounce mark, okay? So we're just going to gently, gently hold the knife where it is, I find, and then spin the solo cup and it cuts out really nicely. Bingo, there we go. So that's the first little bit we're going to need in a while, but let's mix up some base paint. Okay, so we're going to need, I've already practiced this to make sure that I roughly know what I'm talking about. The amount of paint we need to cover an 8x10, okay? 8x10, obviously 8 times 10, it's 80 square inches. The amount of paint we need to cover this, I have estimated at around about 4 ounces, okay? So with the base paint, we don't need to mix up all of these bottles. What we're going to do is we're going to put in about, sorry, no, not about at all. We're going to put in 2 ounces of the Flood Floetrol in each of these cups, and then 2 ounces, half of this white and half of the black in the cup, and we're going to mix them up. Okay then, so my friends, let's get out our stuff and we're going to start mixing. So I need to measure out at least 2 ounces of the Flood Floetrol. Bingo. And another 2 ounces in the other cup. Because we're mixing this paint 50-50. The reason why this paint is so nice and affordable is because the polymers used in it and the binding agents used in it to actually make the paint and the base, let's be diplomatic here, they're not the best quality, let's say. So that's why we're mixing it 50-50. and we're not adding any water to these because adding water to this paint gives you mud real fast. Excuse me, friends, I just need to take another little sip. Okay then, so we want to put in about half of this. So we can see what was 2 ounces in the bottom of our solo cup or whatever we're actually mixing up in. So we want to add in about half of it. Bingo. There you go. So you can see now how much I put in this one and that one. You can see the difference. So let's put the black in as well. And again, we're not measuring, we don't need to measure. It's really good when we can get to the point and we can learn how to actually kind of eyeball mixtures rather than having to measure everything. When I started this, my acrylic journey, about almost 2 years ago now, I think. It was during the pandemic, as it was for lots of people. Here we go, guys. So 50-50. And I hope you guys can see the consistency. Can you see the consistency in there, Christy? Excellent, excellent, great. And how's the chat going, Christy? Are there people asking lots of questions? I can see now my camera's pointing down. It's that's fantastic. Oh, that's lovely. Thank you, Diane. Right. Okay, now I'm not sure if you're going to be able to see with the white now, the consistency. We just need to, excellent, just need to mix it up a little more. Because even though it's a budget-friendly paint, it still requires a nice, decent, good mixing. Okay, so I am going to put just a bit more Floetrol in this because it's a little bit on the thick side. When I was not measuring and just dumping it in, obviously I dumped in a little more than 2 ounces, but we're looking for a nice drizzling consistency for this one, guys, okay? So I'm just gonna put another little glob in that one, and another little glob in that one. Perfect. Okay then, so we're gonna give the white a nice stir. Excellent, there you go. Right, now let me show you now. See it drizzling off really nicely. That's looking good, right, Christy? Excellent. It's drizzling nicely and it moves nicely. Perfect. Yeah, when I did practice this before, I was using different paints, yeah, the same paints, but obviously different bottles. I went and bought more. And these ones do seem to be just that little on the tad side thicker. So let's just acknowledge if you guys went out and bought all of these paints, they may be just ever so slightly different consistencies. You know, like my batch here might be a little bit thicker or a little bit thinner than the batch that you have where you're living. But we want a nice, there we go, drizzling off the stick. That's going to make a lovely base for our open cup. Okay, friends? Brilliant. So if there's any questions, please ask them in the live chat room. And my lovely friend, Christy, and also my other lovely friends, my brother from another mother, Darren, and also my lovely friend, Bridget, and also G as well, are going to be in the chat room there with you guys, helping you out and answering some questions, and they're going to filter the questions through to me as well. So let's mix up these little colors now. So I did get a few messages this morning saying, oh wow, your live's in an hour or so. I guess I had better start mixing colors. I was like, no, we're gonna do this all together. This is gonna be a nice fun group activity on a Sunday, the joy of pouring. So we're gonna fill up little solo cut pots to this mark here. That's the 1 ounce mark. So let's just do that here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7 if my maths is right and I can see straight and I'm counting correctly. Thank you, darling. Right, okay, friends. So now, like I said, this paint seems just a little bit thicker. So what we're going to do, we can see it all there, excellent. So let's just get these lined up nicely, I suppose. Would be better, wouldn't it? So with we're going to start with the well, let's start with the pink or whichever color you like. But what we're going to do is not put a full ounce of the color in here. We're going to need this just slightly thinner, and we're going to fill it up to halfway mark. So just about there. Where are we? Halfway between the 2 ounce mark and where the Floetrol is right now. Bingo, there's one. Okay, so when we put the paint in, we want it to come up to just, there you go, halfway underneath. So you've got about 1.5 ounces of paint here. And let's just mix this one up quickly and first so you can see the consistency. And what a pretty color, the fuchsia fun. There we go, guys. You can see it drizzling really beautifully off the stick. Excellent, excellent stuff. So that's perfect. So that's the pink. Wow, all this chit-chatting and talking. I'm getting rather thirsty all the time. Okay, so let's do the red now. And here we go for the orange. I've also got to would like to thank my fabulous assistant, who is just standing to my side off camera here, helping me out with these paints and taking things away. And she's also going to be helping me when we have to do the cleanup in between the 2 pours, because I'm one of those, I'm sorry, you know, no offense to you if you're a messy artist, that's absolutely fine. It's your prerogative to create however you want to create. But I'm one of these clean freak artists, I'm afraid. I like to keep my hands clean all the time and my workspace clean all the time, just because it's what I prefer. So, you know, there's no slight on anybody else that Christy's telling me she doesn't know how I do it. Well, I guess it's because I learnt this. She's now really laughing in my ear. Right, so here we go. There's the red. Let's just give it a stir and see the, yeah, lovely. See it pouring off, drizzling off the stick. Absolutely lovely. And no one is going to mention the hot substance that bees, yeah, the hot substance that bees make. Well, no, we're not going to say, no, I'm not going to say it. I promised Darren, my brother, I promised him we weren't going to say that, but right, okay. So here we go. The orange here does seem to be just a little bit thicker than the red and the, oh, no. I spoke too soon. I just hadn't mixed it properly. Here we go. There's the orange. Lovely. So no questions or anything like that, Christy? Just people being really lovely and just saying hi? Wow, this is fantastic. This is awesome. I'm just having a look. There's 60 people viewing. That's absolutely amazing. Wow. It's the first time I just looked up at the screen. Fantastic. Thank you, Christy. Okay, guys, so there's the green, the tropical green. It's quite a funky green, really, actually. but this is going to look really great when we pour it through the black pillow. Bingo. Okay, so 3 more to do, my friends, 3 more to do, and we'll be there. So yeah, please let Christy know, and the others know in the chat room, if you guys are also interested in a slightly more kind of advanced other half to the show, where we can actually kind of tackle some things and maybe do an advanced technique like a bloom or a swipe or something like that. So please let them know if that's something you would like to do, because I know not everybody that's watching are at the beginner stage. I know we've got some quite experienced artists watching, and I thank you so much for joining us, because it's a wise person, or it's a silly person that doesn't think they can learn anything new or be reminded of something that had passed their mind before. So I like to think it's educational for everybody. So there you go, that was the cobalt blue that I just mixed up. Now we're doing the sky blue. So how are you guys doing? Are you all good with your painting yet? Have you beaten me? Are you all ready to pour and get started? Here we go, there's the sky blue. I think it's sky blue. Yes. Sky blue. Yes, it is sky blue. It is. I was right. I shouldn't second guess myself, should I? And here we go. Here's the last one. This lovely, gorgeous, majestic purple. Look at that colour. I mean, you know, even for it being budget-friendly paint, they still got enough fairly decent pigment to make this gorgeous colour. That's just beautiful, beautiful, beautiful colour. Excellent. There you go, my friends. You can see this. Right. So those are our 7 colours. Now I also just wanted to. Sorry, I'm just reaching underneath my little craft basket thing. We're going to make up some black and some just regular white in here, just like we did the colours, because we're going to alternate and pour. In one of the pours, we're going to put some black in between the colours, and in the other pour, we're going to put some white in between the colours, and we're going to see what kind of effect that gives us. So again, here we go, 1 ounce of the paint. Oh, sorry, 1 ounce of the Floetrol, rather. Cool. So we're going to just use what's left of this white and the black. We're going to fill it up halfway. There we go. Fill the black up halfway in between to the 2 ounce mark. Excellent. And let's just quickly mix these guys up. And yeah, the thing, like when we're starting right at the beginning, I wish I had someone like me telling me that the consistency is key. Well, this is it. I mean, consistency was quite obvious for me. I don't wish to sound like a know-it-all or blasé or anything, but my wife and I, we both work in the building industry. We are painters and decorators. We do wallpapering and specialist wall finishes, things like that. So we've been working with paint for a long, long time. So we kind of know about consistency and different consistencies. But starting at the beginning, the consistency is key. And these paints are great because, as you can see, maybe you can see on this white one. Yeah, it's just drizzling, really beautiful. So that's the white and the black. Let's just see the black. So consistency is all the same. Yeah, beautiful. Just pouring off, really lovely. So we are going to just put these to the side. Ooh, you just bleeped in my ear, Christy. Is everything cool? Okay then, my friends. So let's just put our little colours down in a nice row there so everyone can see them. No, that's not the right order. That's the right order. Green, orange, that, and that. Excellent. So we are going to do our open cup. I believe it's just called an open cup, but I did a bit of research and it all depends really where you are and how you decide to actually call it, but a open cup, dirty pour, or just an open cup. I mean, the cup's open in a bit of base paint and we're going to pour our colours into it. So if you need more of a description than that, it's up to you what you actually do. Okay, so let's just make sure we're nicely in frame there. If I crane my neck, I can kind of see the occasional comment that pops up on the stream, but it's too difficult. When we have when we're a few more shows in and we have a bit more technical capabilities, we'll do the multi-shot angles. You can actually see me doing the work and an overhead shot, and it will be a lot more enjoyable and a lot better of a show, I'm sure. So, right, let's get we're doing the black one first. So, like we said, we've got about 4 ounces of base paint here. I mean, we're not going to use all of this, but this is going to be a good base for us to then pour around about 3/4 of an ounce, about half of these in this, and we're going to get way enough paint to cover this little 8x10, and we're going to see the capabilities of these dollar store paints. So let's start. Where is it? Oh, yes, here we are. Great. Sorry? Say that. I did not know that I had put the pedal to the metal on that one. Oh, bless you, Sheldon. Christy's just telling me one of your comments. Thank you so much. You're lovely, and thank you, Sheldon, for being here with us for this afternoon of fun with Frosty. Really, the joy of pouring. Right, okay, brilliant. Right, so let's pour down around about half of this. Christy, come on time. Right, we're going to pour down around about half. There we go. Lovely. Just going to move it around a little bit. Excellent. So we are just going to give it a tap like this because that gets the air bubbles out. Just a little drop like that. And I'm feeling generous. I'm going to put a bit more down. Yeah, just a little. Bing, bing. Right. Ooh, and now I've covered myself in paint, and I've got my trusty rag here covered in chomp. Now, could you get the chomp for me, please, my darling, lovely assistant? Because I'm sure the people at home would love to know what chomp is, if they don't already. One shelf up. Chomp. It's on the left. There you go, darling. Oh, they've changed the shape of the bottle, apparently. Bless her. I will send her in on a wild goose chase. Who am I joking? Right, this is the product. It's I'm not sponsored by them. It's just a great product that we use in our work, everyday work. It's by a company called Dynamic. The product is called Chomp, and it's an orange-based, it says degreaser here, but it's this fantastic, it is an amazing degreaser. But I mix it 50-50 in a squirt bottle and put it on my my microfiber rag, because this stuff eats latex and acrylic paint for breakfast. This is its nemesis. I'm not going to give it some really crazy, unholy kind of claims to it, but it has even removed pretty much all of dried paint out of some of my clothes that I didn't want to get in there. So it's a fantastic product. Search it. It's a North American product, so I'm not sure if it's available elsewhere. But anyway, that's enough of the plug for Chomp. But that's on my rag, and it just takes the paint off my hands so nicely. It's great. So anyway, enough of me talking. Another little tap, tap, tap. Well, the talking was good because that allowed the bubbles to come up and we can tap them out. So here we go. We want it in the middle there. And I'm going to try and just bring the shot down. There we go, guys. Is that a little bit better for you? So you're a little bit closer. How's that looking, Christy? Hi, Christy. How's that shot? Is it good? Okay, no worries. Yeah, the internet's spazzing out a little bit. Yeah, yes, sorry about that, doll. We'll have to sort this out a little better for next week. She can't hear too well. Okay, great. So there we go. There's our base down, and you saw me put just a little bit of the black base in the middle there. So let's start with our colours. Now they're lovely rainbow because I was in the store and I was like, well, let's get some bright, lovely colours because they're really going to look great when we pour them through the black base. So what we're going to do is, yeah, we're just going to do one shot, okay, guys, and see how this comes out. So we're going to pour about half of it in, rather than pouring a quarter of it in and going around the colours twice, because that might be a little bit boring for you. I'm not too sure, but here we go. We're going to pour in about half. There we go. And now we're going to, thank you, my fantastic assistant. She just reminded me. Because now, that's two colours. Now we're going to put just a little bit of the black. Now another two colours. Oh, I can see the little cup starting to move. Excellent. Now let's put a little bit of black in, because we're going to use the white on the open cup pour. Now we've got the orange. Oh, I can see it moving well. And it's starting to pop up. Now another little bit of black. And the pink. Excellent. So I'm just going to pull this back to the middle a little bit. And just let it up and down a couple of times. We're getting some of the paint starting to come through. Excellent. There we go. Looking good, looking good. You can see it's coming up in tiny, tiny little bubble cells. It's really not got the gusto to make anything much better than this, unless we, like I said, start using silicone. But I was not going to have you going out buying things that we're going to use once and then never use again, because these the dollar store paints are only $1.50 a go. A bottle of silicone, I believe, is $5 or more. So you know, we don't need to be spending that kind of money. Okay. There's my drink. Thank you, my lovely assistant. Okay, so you can kind of see them coming out a little bit. We had a bit of the sky blue there. So I'm just going to give this a couple of little booms like this. And then I'm going to lift it up and out, but then allow the surface tension of the paint to grab the bottom of the little open cup, and I'm going to kind of drag it off, and hopefully dragging the black and those colors over each other is going to make a funky, groovy little pattern. But well, let's hope so. Here we go. So up and gone, and then there we go. Excellent. So we've got some little dots of color coming in there, and what I'm going to do is just get the rest of the black base that we made, and I'm just going to pour just a I'm going to pour just a little bit in the corners, because if we tip this as it is now, all of those interesting little bits we've got, of which we don't have that many, let's be honest. But all those little bits, if we tip it as it is, they're going to roll. If we tip them over a dry canvas, they will roll underneath themselves, and we'll lose all those little great bits. So if we just add a little bit of paint around the corner there, thank you, my darling assistant. Yeah, we can add we add the paint to the corners here, because now, I say again, I'm cleaning my hands. I'm sorry, I'm quite anal like that. I'm really, apparently I get it from my grandfather, who was a goldsmith. He never liked getting his hands dirty either. So anyway, useless facts about Simon. We're just going to take my palette knife. Now, I'm using... What was that, Christy? Sorry, Dom. Oh, wow, really? Christy's just let me know that we have 80 people in the chat room watching us. This is phenomenal, guys. Wow, I had hopes, but modest hopes. But this has already exceeded my modest hopes. Right, thank you so much. I've got to change the subject because I am a bit of an emotional, sentimental old fool, and I'll start getting emotional. And we're not going to get emotional till the end of the show, okay, guys? Excuse me. So there we go. You saw me just put a little bit more of the paint around the edges and wet the whole of the canvas. Now, I find the nicest, or the way I prefer to do it most is I swirl it around like this, get it moving, and then do one corner, then another. So that's the one corner back. And I've been practicing this to turn it around to show you. Do this corner and then back. And now to this corner. And then back. We always want to move it, or I find it best if we always move the paint back into the middle before we go for the next corner. Is this making sense to you guys? Thank you, Christy. I love you. Right, there we go. That's onto that corner. And now let's tip it back. Whoop. So it's back in the middle now. Now, there we go. For a open cut pour there, I don't think it's too bad with this kind of quality of paints. As you can see, there's quite a lot of paint on the canvas here. This will take at least a day minimum, possibly 48 hours to dry. Now, with leaving the paint on here this thickly, you can get away with it because we mix this paint with so much Floetrol, it isn't even funny. So Floetrol, what Floetrol actually is, because again, it's something I use for its actual intended purpose in the building industry, to extend the drying time of paint. Now, it all depends, you see. I don't use Floetrol in our work that often because we use really good quality paint that levels nicely and works really well and rarely requires us to use Floetrol in it. But in certain circumstances, like if we're trying to paint in extreme heat or a very hot situation in a kitchen or anything like that, we would be adding Floetrol to it because it just extends the drying time of the paint. And that's what helps this paint, this really thick paint that's, well, really thick, quite thick paint. That's what's going to help this quite thick paint on this little 8x10 dry absolutely beautifully. Now I'm just going to kind of clean myself up a little bit and go and put this to dry, and then we're going to move on to the next technique that we're going to do. So I am just going to kind of wipe it like this. Look at this, I don't like getting my hands dirty. Look at me. Oh, I'm absolutely covered. This is all for you, my friends. I sacrificed myself. And also, oh wow, look at that. See, it works quite nicely, doesn't it? Anyway, yes, I don't wear gloves because, again, I work in the industry and I get paint on my hands all the time. And I work constantly with a rag. What? Oh, you mean all the paint over my hands? Sorry, Christy's talking to me in my ear saying she's never seen me make such a mess before. I mean, you know, we've painted together online and she's never seen this kind of carnage. But anyway, here we go, guys. The last little look at this one. You can see the tiny little cells that have popped up there. And for dollar store paints, for budget-friendly paint, this is really quite a nice little result, I feel. So I'm going to pass this over. Well, no, hang on a second. If you could just set up the little cups that are on the drying area. I've just directed my gorgeous assistant that's just helping me out here and is going to take this away while I clean up this this utter mess that's here on my silicone mat. These things are actually quite cool. I got one from Fluidart Co. You can see their little logo is right there somewhere. Oh no, we've gone in close, haven't we? So, but yes, the Fluidart Co. They're a fantastic new company that have just started. They're about just over a year old, I believe, and they sell pretty much everything you're going to need for fluid art, for the more kind of advanced techniques. And they also sell these great silicone mats. So when I saw them available, I grabbed one because they just make cleaning up really easy. Now I can hear some people saying, why are you cleaning it up so you can just let it dry and peel off the skin as such, right? But again, I'm a clean freak and I can't be working with all of this paint everywhere. And because if we work this way in a professional capacity, it's just a recipe for disaster, because you get paint all over your tools. If you get paint over your hands, it's over your tools, it's over everything, and you just make a horrendous mess. And obviously when we're working in people's homes, they don't want to see any mess or, you know, any evidence of us being there. All they want to see is beautifully finished new house and painted nicely. So there we go. I'm just going to get rid of this. So how is everybody doing? Is everybody enjoying the show so far? Oh, the brand and size. The brand, as I said, is Fluidart Company. Their web address. I'm sure one of my fantastic support team will put their web address up in the chat room for you. But it's www.fluid-art.co, and this is a pour mat, and I believe this is the 20-inch by 48-inch. So I'm just getting myself a new rag and just chomping the squeezy bottle. You see, sorry you're still up close, guys, because I can't touch the camera until I've cleaned my hands. Am I just waffling on? I'm sorry if I'm waffling on. I really am, guys. Please tell me to shut up if I'm just waffling on. Oh, Christy, thank you, darling. Waffling away, waffling away, waffling away. Okay, right, I'm just drying my hands. There we go, look, lovely, clean hands. Excellent. Okay, so let's just bring the shot out a little bit more. There we go, yes, there's the logo. Fluidart Company. Fantastic new company, and well worth your support. Their products are evenly fairly priced. And as we all know, a lot of us watching this show know they do the TLP, the little piggies. Of course, I had to have one of them make an appearance. These pigments are possibly some of the best on the market. I've tried others, and the range and the colorways and the effects that these give just add so much dynamics to your pour. It's really quite crazy. Okay, another quick little sip of my water. Excellent. Right, so that's halfway through the beginner part of the show, and we are 43 minutes in. We have still got, my phone says 75 people, maybe 76. I can't quite see it clearly. Anyway, so people are still watching, people aren't turned off, and people are interested, so that's great. So what we're just going to do quickly now, in between the two pours. That's great, Christy. I'm so glad they're still here. Otherwise, it'd just be me talking to you, and that would be it. Anyway, what we're going to do just for a second is we're going to get the camera pointing up, and we're going to look at me. I'm sorry, you're going to have to look at me for a bit longer. Ooh, there we go. We are going to do the competition, because I mentioned in the little advert that we have got a giveaway. Here we go. Here it is. It's this lovely box. This was a gift care package I sent to our lovely Amun G, who is the leader of our Facebook group, Acrylic Pouring for Beginners. Hi there, G. Thank you for your support, my friend. This was a care package that I sent to him, and it was, to be fair, he did say packages hardly ever get here. They don't get delivered in Africa, and if they do, they will extort money from you to try and get it. So against that, I went against it and I spent some money. I bought him some, because he can't get Amsterdam paints, he can't get Floetrol or Piggies. He's doing an amazing job with his channel, finding ingredients that are available there in Africa and producing some amazing work. So this is why I was trying to send this to him. It made it there, but they demanded hundreds and hundreds of dollars from him to go and collect it, and he would have had to drive for hours to collect it. So we said, or he said, forget it, he wasn't going to do it. And I didn't think I was going to see it again. And then bing, it came in the post all the way back. So it's a well-traveled parcel. It's been around the world, or at least to Egypt and back. And this is the prize we're going to give away. So I'm just going to say first, I'm just asking the universe, because I would love to give this away to somebody who needs it, not somebody who wants it. And I'm sure a lot of you understand and know exactly the difference between those two things, because this art form can get quite pricey and expensive when you start getting more advanced and doing the more advanced techniques, and the ingredients are more expensive than the ones you can get at the dollar store. So anyway, I'd love to give it to someone away that needs it rather than wants it. That being said, the competition is this. Please, if you could go to my channel, this channel that you're on already, if you haven't subscribed, please subscribe. It doesn't take you very long at all. All they want is an email, and you'll be notified when I make new videos, and you can comment on those videos and everything like that. So please guys, subscribe. So what I'm going to ask you to do to win this is subscribe to my channel. Watch video number 51. Okay, I'm going to say this again, and we'll go over it again if you missed the details. And my lovely support group, my fantastic producers and friends that are helping me in the chat room, will go over it again with you guys. But watch video number 51, please. Now that's the bloom butterfly on a bloom vine. If you could watch it, please, in its entirety. Now, if you've already seen it, or if you don't want to watch it but you'd like to enter into the competition, just get the video open on your phone, press play, and walk away and leave it. What I'm actually asking you to help me do is to build up my watched hours so I can start to get towards monetization from YouTube, and they're going to start paying me a tiny amount, but it's a start. Anyway, watch video number 51, please. Comment on the video with the words, or comment with JOP for the joy of pouring in capitals, and then giveaway. And then this competition is going to run for 2 weeks. We are going to go over it again next week in next week's show, and then we're going to pick the winner on the third show, and I shall send it out to whoever actually wins. So that's the competition, and let's just quickly go over what was in the box. What was in the box, Si? You can't put the box away without showing us what's in the box. So this is what's in the box, and we're going to just go down right now. Here we go. So it is a full Jacquard Pearlex Duo Violet Brass. Beautiful pigment here. That's in there. We have got a piggy in there as well. This is Frost. Quite ironically, obviously. This was lovely, beautifully given to me by Lisa Marvin when she sent me a piece of art, and I figured, well, I already had one, so let's pass it on, pay it forward. So there's a Frost in there too. There is some Deco Art Dazzling Metallics. This is a fantastic colour, Peacock Pearl. And we have also got Amsterdam acrylic paints, all the different colours. And this is why I was sending this to G in Egypt, because he can't get these here. And I was sending him the Amsterdam black and white, and then some coloured acrylic paints. And also, I'm sorry, G, if you're watching, to break your heart, but this is actually 8 fluid ounces of Australian Floetrol. So this went all around the world. It didn't break or anything, and it's come all the way back. So this will be in the package too. So that's the Australian Floetrol. That's all the Amsterdam acrylic paints, the Peacock Pearl, and the 2 pigments. Okay, my friends, so right, that's enough of me waffling about the prize or the competition. But yes, like I said, please watch the video in its entirety. I'm trying to build up my watched hours so I can start getting paid to do this, which would be a fantastic thing. Okay, so any questions or anything you want me to answer, Christy? Is there anyone that's saying anything? No? Well, this is it. This is the great thing. I have such an amazing family. Sorry, say that one again, Christy? Ah, right, yes. Right, so what you need to do is you go onto YouTube and you type in Frosty Eye Candy and search, and then it will come up with my channel. Then what you actually need to do is click on the picture that comes up, the channel, and that will take you directly to my channel. And then you will have 2 sections, or when I look at my phone, there is 2 sections. Other people's devices may lay it out slightly different, but it's 2 sections of short videos at the top, and then uploaded videos, the tutorials at the bottom. Click on the uploaded tutorials and you can get the whole list and go and find number 51 and watch it. Number 51, yes, it's called Bloom Butterfly on a Bloom Vine. Excellent. Right, okay, yes, and I was going to say, obviously there's not really questions or anything because my amazing family of you, Darren, Bridget and G are obviously just really doing great work in the live chat. I'm going to stop waffling now. So here we go, guys. We're going to do the second pour, okay? So we're going to use slightly less paint here because we're going to, right, I've used this solo cup that's cut down. Again, if you, sorry, I didn't mention this is what I'm going to be using, but it was kind of a given. I figured that we're going to need things to mix in. But anyway, that's the 4 ounce mark. Okay, so we're going to go possibly to that, maybe just a little bit higher with the rest of these paints. And we're going to do a fun, dirty pour on this other little 8x10. As you can see, I have used it before in the practicing to make sure things, you know, kind of worked and weren't completely boring. But here we go, let's move this to the side, move this here, and we are going to load this cup up with the rest of these colors here. And we're gonna have fun getting real messy, pouring them all over this other little canvas. So here we go, that one. Christy's cheering in my ear going, yay! Again, my friends, and you know, I'd just like to thank you all again, everybody, for coming here, for being here and supporting me like this. It really means the world to me. Thank you very much. My lovely assistant has just brought me a fresh, clean rag. This is fantastic. Oh, it's got chomp on it too, she's just told me. Oh, fantastic. A question. Okay, let's hope I can answer it and you're not... Yep. Oh, well, okay. The difference between Rue Brew, or the Australian Floetrol, and the US Floetrol. Right, the difference, I guess, can be summed up in one word. Staggering. It's the chemical, and obviously I'm joking, friends, but it's the added chemicals and additives that is in the Australian Floetrol, which isn't present in the US Floetrol because Australian and the North American standards and the laws of ingredients into such products are slightly different, allowing Australia to have this fantastic formula with the magic ingredient of something, who knows what, that just makes it outperform the US Floetrol 100 to 1. And that will be something that we'll be doing on the show. We can compare the two and we can see. If that's something you'd like to see, please let my lovely family, my support group, my team, my everything in the chat, and they can start to answer some questions. So there you go. There's the 2 colors in a little bit of white. So now we're going to put in the sky blue, just just throw it in. I've seen people do it nice and gently and carefully on one side sometimes. But I'm not like that. That's not my style of doing things. And to be honest, the paint is just slightly thicker than it was when I practiced, but it's still giving us a nice result, I feel. So here we go. So that was the sky blue and the tropical green. Now that's a little bit more white. Now we're going to put in the orange. That, oh, whoa, that's it. That's great. Knocked this one over, but caught it. Oh, did you see that? That was great if you saw that. So there we go with a save live on air, you know. Okay, that's the orange and the red. Now another little bit of the white. Now we're going to put in that fun, beautiful, fun fuchsia, or fuchsia fun, I think it's called, something like that. Okay, and that's just for fun, why not? We'll just put another little bit of white on the top. There we go. Brilliant. Well, we have got a little bit of paint left in these. So you know what I'm going to do? I'm just going to go through it the whole game. Let's not waste. Even though, you know, they're budget-friendly paints, let's not waste them. Literally, there's just like a tiny little bit left in each one. And I'm just going to throw the colours in and finish it, because these ones are going to... The rule, or a good rule of thumb with these dirty pours, and it's called a dirty pour because we've put all the colours in one cup and we pour it out together. The good rule of thumb to remember when doing this technique is first in, last out. So all these little bits that I'm just putting in here are going to be the bits that go down on the canvas first, and more than likely are going to end up over the side and on our pour mat. Bingo. So there we go, my friend. Fantastic. I've got all the chances in the world. That's why I'm sitting here. Sorry, Christy's talking in my ear again, and we've got another question, so yes. Oh, Missy, yeah, that's a good question. Yeah, absolutely. Your environment plays a huge impact and effect upon your consistencies and your paints. So working in a place such as your basement where the humidity is at about 50%, that's going to extend the amount of time your paints need to dry when you've actually done a pour. And it's also going to make your paints, I mean, this is it. I try to mix up as many paints as I'm using that time and try to use it all in one go. So I'm mixing up fresh every single time. I find doing it this way helps keep that consistency, and consistency is key, right, guys? Because if you start to use old paints, and if you guys want us to do a more advanced end to the show, we are going to cover using old piggies and old paints that have thickened up a bit and see what we can do with them. But yes, your environment plays a huge impact on your paints. So if you leave them open, that 50% humidity is going to make them slightly runnier over time. But as long as you keep them closed, they last for a certain amount of while, but not too long, as we know, because just the air trapped in the containers will start to dry the paints out. Did I make sense? And I didn't waffle on. I hope I didn't. Great, go for it, Christy. Well, this is it. Yeah, way to put them down. I just was using that order because it was the order of, it was a little rainbow, let's be honest, really, wasn't it? It was the majestic purple. Yeah, let's just lay that down. And then the cobalt blue. And I wasn't going to add, this was the 7th one I actually added because I liked the effect it gave when I was doing the experiments. But I was going to just use the original 6 colours, these ones. But I added the light blue because I like the way it worked in the open cup pour. And I put them down in this order because, as you can see, it's just a nice order to actually do things, because it follows the natural order of a rainbow, kind of, as such. But if you're ever wondering how to switch them up and change them up, a good way I learned about color theory is that if you grab every other one and flip them around. So you can grab this one and that one, boom, there you go, and flip these two around. There's a completely different color order there. And the only way you're going to know whether it comes out well or not is to give it a try. But the paints rarely muddy, I have found when I was using them and doing the tests. They don't muddy until I put literally, I put 1 mil of water, tiny, few drops of water in some of these paints during the tests. And then when I used them to pour, they just turned into the biggest pile of brown poop I've ever seen. And I've never had that happen to me. And it was really funny. And I really laughed, just like Christy's laughing in my ear here. It really was. Here you go, look, there you go. There's the color. Brilliant. That's it. That's the color it went. This kind of just horrible brown. So yeah, these paints really don't like water being put in them. Yeah, Bridget's shiny poop, right? Anyway, okay then, Fred. So I hope that answers your question. I'm sorry, I forget who asked that question, Christy. Oh, I've just put Christy right on the spot now. She's going better. Vicky, I'm pretty sure it was Vicky. Apologies if it wasn't Vicky, but there you go, Vicky. That's why I put my colours down in that order. And as a quick little colour theory, just switch them around a bit. Right, okay, so let's put these little paints away now. Put them over here. And let's do this dirty pour. So, right, here we go. Da, da, da. Let's bring it down a little bit so you can see a little better. How's that camera angle, Christy? Is that good? Is that good for you guys? Brilliant. Excellent. So here we go. So I'm just using this little, like I said, a cut down solo cup. You can actually buy these proper little plastic cups with little spouts that have segregators in them and stuff like that. And I thought, well, I can buy more paint if I don't buy one of those and just use a solo cup. So that was my motivation and reasoning for using this rather than a decent pouring cup. But here we go, guys. Now, I haven't done these for a long time since obviously practicing this past week. So this was at least entertaining, if not informative. I'm going to try and pour real slowly. So as you remember, guys, last in, first out. So here we go. And I'm just going to do the little backwards and forwards ripple kind of thing. Oh, that's looking pretty good already. Absolutely. Okay, yep, absolutely, I will, darling. Oh, this is not pouring out too well. Oh my gosh, I'm just really ruining it now. So there we go. We're just going to do this. Bingo. Oh, well. Oh, look at that. That's not too bad at all, is it? Look at that. It's quite pretty. Okay, so we're just going to put the, what are you trying to say to me, Christy? Sorry, darling. Okay, Christy was just agreeing, saying it looks great, which is lovely. Thank you, Christy. Thank you, my love. We're just going to put a bit of... Oh, dear. Right, so the white that we mixed up is for this now, because we're going to put a bit of white just around the edge, just to wet the edges. We don't need a lot, because again, we're just going to tip that straight off, but we're not going to get worried about it because it's very budget-friendly paint that we can afford, and we can afford to learn and waste a little paint here and there. So I'm just going to wet the edges here. Da, da, da. Now, you guys, I had a question. Chrissy's just given me a question, or a question, someone requesting, please show me a bottle of the Australian Floetrol and the US Floetrol, so you can see the difference. It will be my absolute pleasure to do that. And while we just put that little thing there, sitting there waiting, I can do that for you. So, okay, yes, that's very good. I will do that right now. So I'm just had to go to my little stock and stash. So friends, let's just move this up a bit. Here we go. So this is Australian Floetrol, and this here is the one in the orange is the US Floetrol. So that's the difference looking in the bottles. I can actually show you, because I am very fortunate. I have a best friend in Australia who, obviously I got this from the Fluidart Co. I have a best friend in Australia that sent me over in a gallon. And magically, somehow it made it over without breaking. The only thing that happened was the top got stoved right in. But there you go, there's the 2 gallon bottles of the Flood Floetrol, the Australian one, and it's red. Flood, the logo here is in red. And in the US one, it's orange. Okay. Was there anything else, Christy? I think you said something else just as I was... Oh, excellent. I'm sure, though, if we... Oh, yes. We've had some questions saying, is this going to happen every week? Absolutely. This is happening every Sunday now, from now on, 1 p.m. PST, the Cyfrost's The Joy of Pouring. I'm just going to... Yes, me. Cyfrost's The Joy of Pouring. Every week it's going to be here on Sunday at 1 o'clock PST. So please join me every week, guys. We're going to have fun, and we're going to move up with better materials and more complex techniques and things through the weeks that are going by. And we're just going to have a lot of fun on a Sunday. Okay, so let's get this camera pointing down. This little canvas has waited long enough. There we go. And we're just going to literally, just like I did before, we've got some lovely patterns there. It is really quite pretty, isn't it? You know, again, for the budget-friendly paint, it doesn't do too badly. We've even got a couple of little tiny cells that are popping up in itself there. So just going to swirl it around, get it moving. So let's go for that corner and then back. And now let's go for this corner. And then back. Excellent, like this. And then we're going to go for this corner. Excellent, and then back into the middle and over to the other side. Okay, my friends. The reason why I just do one corner at a time, because I like to try and keep the composition and the lines in the actual piece itself. If we move it around too many different directions, you end up getting a kind of like a big, sort of very busy look, rather than this lovely kind of flowy look that we've got right here. But there you go, my friends. You can see I'm covered in paint again. Oh, look, there's that almost that horrid brown color. But there we go. There is a dirty pour. So it's quite cute, isn't it? Even if I say so myself, and I say that a lot. But there we go. So this is really what I am capable with, of doing, rather, with these budget-friendly paints without using silicone or anything like that. I mean, a lot of us know if I'd stirred a little bit of silicone in a couple of the colors, we would have got way more cells. But we were just looking and finding out the capability of these paints on their own. And also learning, you guys, helping you learn that consistency is key. Because if the consistency is all the same, we get these lovely divisions in the colors. There's no bleeding. They hold their shape. And again, like I said, because we used so much Flood Floetrol, it's going to take a good day or two to dry, but will dry perfectly without one crack. But I think it was Vicky that had painting in her basement. With 50% humidity, this will take, I should think, at least 3 days or so to dry. But as long as you work with those limitations, you're going to be fine painting in a humid, drier, hot place. But there we go, guys. Look at this, lovely. Oh, that's a lovely pattern we've got here. Let me just clean my hands up. Wow, 83 people are watching us and joined us for my first show. This is fantastic. 1 second. I can't touch the phone, friends. I'm sorry, until I clean my hands, because I obviously don't want to cover my phone in paint. But here we go. Hi, guys. So let me just turn the camera up there. 83 people are in the chat, you say. This is really fantastic. This is awesome. Thank you, friends, so much for joining me for this. This is absolutely such a joy to do. Oh, Christy's getting emotional in my ear now. Thank you, my darling. I honestly couldn't have done it, or would be doing it, if I hadn't met you guys, my fantastic family on Facebook that I run, that run the Acrylic Pouring for Beginners group, the Acrylic Crazy Train, as we affectionately refer to it. These people are some of the best people I've ever met in my life, and I cannot wait to meet them actually properly, rather than just talking for thousands and thousands of miles around the earth. Anyway, so that was our 2 beginner pieces, okay, guys? And I can see, cheers from Australia, love it. Belle, I think that was Belle, thank you, Belle. Rusty, hi Rusty. Sharon Kish, thank you, is it Kish? Yes, thank you so much. Miss C, hello there. Venom Fluidart, I love you too, brother, of course. Kay, thank you so much. Thank you so much. Brilliant first show. So would you guys like to stick around and we can learn a little bit more about some more advanced stuff? How about that? Oh, Terry, thank you so much, Terry. Jody, thank you so much, Jody, for the heart. Mama Dulas, thank you for being here. That's so nice. So, guys, what would you like? Would you do you want us to call it quit, or would you like to listen to me waffle on a little bit more about some more techniques? Hi there, Alison. Alison, thank you, Alison. Janice, Rusty, hi, Rusty. Kay, yes, please. Okay, then. So we're going to stick around for a little bit longer. Don't worry if you can't, guys. This is all going to be saved to the channel, so you can rewatch it again. Obviously, the chat won't be live, and you won't be able to ask questions, but you'll certainly be able to watch it and paint along with me at later dates. Okay. A couple more I'll read out. Linnell, thank you so much. Love to see more. Julia Lee, thank you, Julia. Angel. Thank you, Alison, more. Deborah, thank you so much, Deborah. Maya saying yes, okay. So let's play around, and I guess let's do a bloom, right, shall we? Okay, yeah, do you want me to? Hang on, we'll just get a little, my beautiful darling assistant is here, and she doesn't want to be on camera, bless her. But I'm sure an idea I had was, it was an idea for a collab, actually, between me and some friends, some other YouTubers, the people that I run the people that help run the group, Acrylic Pouring for Beginners. I had this idea of maybe doing a challenge, or maybe definitely doing a show a little bit later on, painting with the partners. And we can get our prospective others that are either suffering in silence with this crazy acrylic addiction that we all share, or if they're actually quite interested and into it. Oh, there you go. This is my beautiful assistant, Sean. Excellent. Yes, we can do a show pouring with the partners, or pouring with your partner, or something like that. I don't know. I don't know why I mentioned it. It was only an idea I'd been milling around and hadn't given it much more thought apart from that. But yes. Oh, there's Jack. Hi, Jack. Thank you so much for still being here. Oh, Jack, thank you so much for asking those to subscribe. I have so many lovely friends that are here watching this and in the chat room. It's so lovely. Thank you, my friends. Thank you so much. Right, before I get emotional, let's then move on to something else. So let's move this down a little bit and we'll do this. Here we go. Okay, so I should have asked you guys earlier, really, if the more experienced artists were interested in hanging around. And I could have showed you these a little earlier, but I guess if you're in your studio, which you might be because it is a Sunday, you can just quickly run and get these paints. And these are the paints, these are the things I'm going to be using and showing you. So we're going to need TLP Nebula, okay? It's basically the last posts that I'm sure a lot of you guys have seen online, that beautiful kind of blue color palette, blue-green color palette. I'm going through those colors with you right now. So that will be the Nebula goes down further. We need Nebula. You need to go and get the Studio Acrylics Blue Black. You need to go and get Glisten and Golden, the light phthalo blue. Now, they don't need to be these brands. If you don't have those brands at all, that's totally fine. All you need to do is just kind of match the colors-ish. So the PBO is it's an iridescent blue gray. So you can just use a mid-gray, really. The Nebula is like a nice kind of charcoal color, so you can use a charcoal color if you don't have the Nebula. The Glisten is an interference color, so I mean, you know, and it's the interference blue-green, and we've been finding out that when you look at it at a really low angle, it almost goes pinking purple, which is fantastic. But yeah, if you don't have Glisten, any other interference, thank you, my lovely assistant, interference color will do. And then again, if you don't have the golden, just a nice light blue, but preferably a opaque. Okay, guys? So, just putting these bits away over there. Just having a quick drink. Vicky, you're more than welcome, Vicky. Thank you for the show. You're more than welcome. Thank you for being here and watching it. Live chat warning, yes, and live waffle warning. Oh, Beverly says, God, I want some of those piggies. Yes, you do, Beverly. They are really quite amazing pigments. Right, so what we've got here, my friends, is the paints that I used to make these coasters that I was making for a friend. So I'm going to try and hold them all up together. Boom, boom. There you go, these coasters. I'm sure you saw them, guys. You've got these lovely glisten kind of effects, and you can see the iridescent blue-black flashing blue there. But yeah, these coasters here. And I made them a few days ago, about a week ago or more, I think, actually. And I found out that let's not get into resin yet. This is the first show. So those were the coasters and these were the paints that are left over, okay? Now you can see it's not quite a lot, and look at the consistency. Watch it move. Ooh, she's quite thick. So what I figure we're going to do here, like, this is the blue black. The blue black is actually not too bad. It's still good. Let's open it up, actually, and get the stirring stick so you guys can actually see the consistency. Let's just get it pointing down again. Here we go. So this is the Nebula by TLP. You just kind of mix it up a little bit. The pigments do settle if they get if they left a little while. So there we go. We can see the consistency. She's a little bit on the thick side. She's not really drizzling very well at all. So we need to thin these down a little bit. So this is the blue black. Now, while I'm waffling on showing you these, if you wanted to actually mix these colors up and paint along with me, I am giving you all the waffling time I can whilst you mix these up. But here we go. Here's the iridescent blue black. See, now that actually, like I said, looking at it in the pot, isn't actually too bad. Well, a little bit gloopy, but There's, yep, yes, how can I help you, Don? I have painted on, right, have I painted on anything other than a canvas or a cradle? Yes, I paint on all old bits of wood. I have painted on old canvases. We've had this conversation before, Christy and I. Again, where I work in the building industry, there usually are dumpsters full of cuts, or there's garbage bins full of offcuts of bits of wood and things like this. And that's why in the advert for the show I had the bits offcuts of old flooring, and it was actually vinyl flooring, and it was absolutely fine to pour on and practice on. I do enjoy, like I said, going through the dumpsters and things, dumpster diving, and finding old bits of wood and stuff, and actually gluing them together to make really interesting kind of shaped canvases and things like that. But I hope that answered your question of have you ever poured on anything other than a canvas? So there we go. The next color we got here, this is the glisten. Now let's just, yeah, now you see, yeah, glisten, yeah, there is, right, okay, what I've found and what I've figured, okay, you can call me crazy, but when getting into the more advanced and higher end techniques and products, I started to figure out that hardcore. There is no hardcore correct right or wrong recipe for this pouring, as we've already covered in the show earlier when someone mentioned about painting in their warm, humid basement. Environment does really affect your consistency. So a recipe that works for one person in one environment might not necessarily work for other people in different kinds of atmospheres, environments, climates and countries. But I have figured out that there is what I call a window of usability of paints that are just a little bit too thick, or maybe, I don't want to say a little too thin, but I have definitely been experimenting with using some paints that are really this thick and seeing the outcome, and if they dried well, and if they cracked, or if they lost their cell structure and warped or gone wonky, as some people say. But yeah, there is a window of usability. Now, I would say that this glisten here is just slightly on the thick side. So I'm going to put a couple of drops of, right, yeah, and what are we going to thin them down with? Here we go, Si. I've got, I thin it down with Joe Sonia. I know a lot of us use Joe Sonia gloss varnish. And I thin it down with Joe Sonia gloss varnish and water, mixed 4:1. 4 parts water, 1 part Joe Sonia. So it really is literally just very thin varnish. And just a few drops of this, all depending, if you've got only that much paint, only a tiny amount, you need maybe 1 or 2 at the most drops. But if we've got a little more paint like this one, and this is the gold and the light phthalo blue, let's just see the consistency of this. Oh, there you go. Whoa, yeah, she's still great, because I did mix this one up fresh, because I was using old paint down there that I was too mean to throw away. I thought, no, I can rejuvenate it and get it working, but I had to mix more of this. And this is spot on. This is absolutely spot on. You can see how it kind of just piles up, holds its shape for like a second or 2 at the max, and then just goes straight back in on itself. That's perfect. This is good to go. So let's just I'm going to put 1, 2, just a few little drops in there in the glisten, and we're going to see it all of a sudden loosen up, and you're just going to see it's going, all of a sudden it's like, groovy. That's the moisture I was missing. And now look at it. Yes. Am I being silly with all of these kind of noises? I'm sorry, but I just get this way when I'm using my pigs and I'm using these gorgeous ingredients. There we go. Perfect. I would say, here we go. Let's just look at that there. And now, see, it's very similar. Now, I said that this, I'm trying to make sure that you get a good shot from the camera and I can still see it. If I stand up, that'll be better. Yes, no. This tube paint is fine. That's absolutely fine. That's the iridescent blue black. And now let's just pick up the nebula again. Yeah, the nebula definitely. It's just a little too. That was easily 4 drops there. I was a bit generous. I hope I haven't been too generous, but it really was quite thick. Hello, my lovely. How can I help you? Yeah, what's up, Christy? Miss C, that's a very good question. I don't actually know because I haven't tried, but from my experience working with paints for so long, and I've kitchen witched many a concoction to, match a stain on a floor or a stain on a piece of furniture that we had to match. And yes, if you add something like the Joe Sonia to these acrylics, it will make them it will make them move more than they are with just the Floetrol on its own. They'll be slightly slippier, let's say. But when they dry, I think that's the question you're really getting at. Will they be nice and shiny rather than these dry matte? So they're not shiny at all. So if you wanted a shine, you'll have to varnish over the piece when it's finally dry. But if you were to add some Joe Sonia gloss varnish, it may add a slight sheen, but I really can't say because I know these paints here are very, very budget friendly. The pigments and the polymers and the binders that make the paints are really of not the highest quality as they would be in the Joe Sonia or in the other pouring mediums that we actually use. You could try. You could try. You'd have to put in a lot to make it shiny. Again, I've got my fantastic assistant helping me here because she has years and years experience working with paint. It might make it shiny, but to be honest, this Joe Sonia gloss varnish is quite pricey. And if you can afford it, please go ahead, try it, and let us know how it worked. But I wouldn't really want to waste this mixing it with the budget paints. Okay, my friends, so has everyone mixed up their paints if they wanted to actually paint along with me? And is everyone cool with what I did here to put in a little bit of what I've heard it called Joe-wa, so water with Joe Sonia, but yes, is everyone okay and cool with what we're going to do here? Oh, these little baby pot things, these are fantastic. Again, you can get these from, let's just move it out and up. There we go, the Fluidart Co. right there, fluid-art.co. These are available in North America, I believe. I'm not too sure if they're available in other countries or continents around the world, but these are absolutely great little pots with sealing lids that really keep your paint fresh for a good while. And they come with this natty little tray that is great to keep the pot standing up while you're mixing them. And they also stack on top of each other as well. So they're very handy, and I have only got 2 sets, and as soon as I can, I'm going to be ordering more from them. Okay then, friends, so I need to, I tell you what I need to get, my spinner and an 8-inch white cradle, please, my lovely, beautiful assistant and helper. So, okay, guys, so while we just wait for me to get the spinner and the other things, we are going to bust out some, I've got some white and some Prussian blue here. I was thinking about having a really good, funny April Fool's joke and saying that, oh my God, wow, TLP are doing ready-made cell activator. Look, it comes in a piggy pot. but I figured I could cause too much headache for Billy and the other people at TLP, so I might not do that. But yeah, before you think this is TLP cell activator, it isn't. I just use the empty TLP pots to mix my cell activator in. So we are going to be using some of the, oh, thank you very much, my dear. We are going to be using the Prussian Blue cell activator. So if you've got some mixed up, that's going to be great. If you haven't, I'm just going to give you a couple of seconds while I'm sorting this out. Okay, there we go. So I'm just going to come up to, hi friends, hi there. Thank you very much. Oh, let's have an 8-inch one.
Bigger?
Yeah, no, 8-inch, smaller. She's confused over the size, bless her. Okay, friend. So here we go. Here is, here's my spinner. Here's a couple of good little tips and things for the first show. Thank you, darling. I stuck a MDF board on the top of my spinner because when you do this, it gives you a larger working area, okay? And it's really handy when we're doing smaller and up to about, really, this is 20 inches here, so up to about 16 inches, 12 inches or so, I can do really comfortably here. And when I spin it, the paint, as long as you don't spin too fast, if you're getting paint everywhere, you're spinning too fast, okay? As long as you don't spin too fast, the paint just flows over to the edge of the canvas here, or the cradle, down to the edge, and then it actually flows onto the board. And you don't get any spatter anywhere. All of the paint is just contained here. And when the paint starts to make it near the edge, I just put my finger here while it's spinning like this. And that stops any drips making it to the edge and making it all over my fantastic teddy bear t-shirt, or the kitchen, or the floor, or the cat, and you know, upsetting matrimonial balance. So again, friends, here we go. The board, I've drawn a cross on the board. So obviously it helps you, that's the middle. And again, people that like to work differently to me, let's say, and are not so anal and clean freaks, you know, drawing a cross on your board is not going to last one spin really, or one piece of art. But I wipe my board every time so I can keep this cross, and it helps me center a square canvas or cradle perfectly. And the other thing, it also helps me center a round canvas. I just use my palette knife to make sure the round canvas is the same distance on each 4 sides like this. But yeah, just drawing a square on the top of your spinner, or sticking a square of board on top of your spinner is really great for me working in limited space where, you know, you can't cover everything in paint. So after that big long waffle, I'm just going to need another drink. Thank you very much. Wow. So, okay then, my friends, we are going to do a blue. Yay! So, please don't get excited. This isn't colour to go. I was just clever enough to save a few of the colour to go pots, and I decant my gallon of Glidden Premium satin. I use the premium in satin because I found up here in Canada, it just has far less bubbles in it to begin with, and it's nicer to use with less bubbles, of course. So I decant it into these, the little old colour to go pots. And that helps me, thicken the paint up a little bit. I leave the lid off through the day and come around and stir it once an hour or so to stop the skin forming. But by doing that, you thicken the paint up, and it can be a little bit thin straight out of the... My camera, the camera is... Right, just make sure the camera that we're in, and here we go. Let's just go down a little bit closer so you can get a good look. And excellent. Is everyone happy? Should we start pouring? Okay. So, the pressure is on. The pressure is on now to perform. We need to see some frosty eye candy to finish the show. Don't we really, friends? Right. So we just want a nice amount of pillow, not too much. Here we go. I'm always a little bit of a miser with my pillow. And if I'm not a miser, I won't use way too much. I really laughed at myself the other day. I'm sure some of you guys must have seen the bloom vines on the two 6-inch little cradles that I've done before. I tried to do one of those and I put way too much pillow down, put the colours on, blew it out. It looked fantastic. I span it and everything came off. It was a great kind of learning experience of, you know, not a lot of paint. You don't need too much. So I'm just going to tap this now, guys, like that, to get rid of the bubbles that are in there. And now I'm just going to give it a gentle little spin just to move this paint out. And then I always like just working the paint out to the edges the whole way round, just so the whole canvas or cradle is nice and wet. Okay, so I'm just going to tip this around here a little bit while we're doing that. If you really wanted to paint along with me, this is another opportunity for you to finally just mix up those last paints. I'm sorry, I could have, well, I didn't know the amount of interest. I couldn't gauge it precisely. So we're doing what you wanted to see right now, which is great. And we've also learned the importance, as we all know, of consistency is key. I do remember being in a Facebook group on a Facebook group, of course, an acrylic pouring group, not ours, it was another one. And I had some guy, I walked away from an argument when a guy told me consistency has nothing to do with it. So I'm sure you're laughing right now at home. So anyway, there we go, guys. There's the pillow down. We're just going to tap it again to get rid of those air bubbles. And we're going to see how this old paint is going to do. I can't promise anything. It might be pretty. It might be not so pretty. We're gonna find out. So there we go. That's the nebula we're putting down first. Gorgeous color, beautiful, kind of like a dark charcoal, and it has an interference flash of color, and it's ever so hard for me to actually see and pick up. It kind of looks a bit blue in one way, green in another, and I'm seeing with my man eyes even a bit of a red tinge to it. But you may or may not know, obviously guys see colors differently than the girls. The girls see color better. You have more cones in the eyes that helps you see the color. Yes, you can see colors better than we can. Anyway, there is the nebula. Now let's put down, hang on, let's just give, you can always tap them and get rid of those bubbles, guys. So let's now put down the PBO Studio acrylics, the iridescent blue black. As we know, it's not black. But yeah, I'm not going to put any more than that down. And now we've got the glisten. Whoa, poor little glisten. I mean, literally there's not even, I don't know, 1/4 of an ounce here or so, but I just couldn't bear to throw it away. So let's put some glisten down. Fantastic. Yeah, I've got all the chances. Christy is just telling me in my ear that there is another question. What can I help you with? Ah, very good question. Thank you very much. Now, I can't obviously pick cake spinner up because we're halfway through that pour. I attached the board to the cake spinner with, in Britain, we called it blue tack. I guess you guys in North America, the best explanation would be sticky tack. It's the stuff you give your kids to stick posters on the walls that aren't, you know, that doesn't damage the walls. That blue sticky tack stuff, that's what I use. And yeah, it works really well because as long as you get the sticky tack with your hands, warm it up, stick it on top of the cake spinner and then put the board on the top, it spreads right out, and it's, I forget that actual force that's called, that sucks the top to the bottom and really makes it bind well. So it's not permanent. No, it's not permanent. No, I can take the board off the cake spinner if I want to. Yes, yes. Excellent. Blue tack in Australia too. Thank you, Lynn. There you go. Susan Stock, not sure about that. What, the blue tack? Gotcha, thank you so much. When he has a minute, can he answer my question about using a specific house paint? There was a question from Jody.
Specific kind of house paint.
Yes, the house paint is the house paint. Let me just go and get it for 1 second. Thank you for bearing with me, friends. There we go. This is the paint. Glidden Premium in the white base satin finish. You want the white base, and you can take this literally straight off the shelf. I get it from Home Depot. They'll come running after you saying, oh, I've got to put that on a shaker for you, or I've got to tint it a color for you. No, they don't. This is the white base. This is the can that they add pigments to make your colors, but we want it for its white base. So, and you also don't want them to shake it for you because that will put bubbles into it. So you just buy it straight off the shelf, take it home and stir it very gently and slowly with a round stir stick, not a proper like paint stirring stick. The paint stirring stick with the edges causes friction and that causes bubbles. Thank you so much for sharing that one, Sheldon. If you use a round stick to stir the paint, it won't add bubbles to it. So there you go.
The end of a wooden spoon handle.
The end of a wooden spoon handle would be quite good, yes. Anything that's actually round. Anyway, our bloom is nearly screaming at me saying, oh, please finish me, please finish me. Right, can you hear me again, Christy? I lost you for a minute there, darling. Brilliant. Yeah, you're back. Yes, you're. Yes, my dear, you're back in my ear for me. Thank you. Okay, friends, thank you for bearing with us on this first show of learning and adventure and all of the things. So there we go. That was our glisten, friends. Now we need to put we can put a cell activator straight on this, but the cell activator glisten will let the cell activator sink through it far quicker than the PBO and then into the actual nebula that's at the bottom. And we can see a little bit of flocculation that's happening here around the edge. Now that's not because I haven't used enough pigment in there, it's because my pillow, I have found my pillow is too wet. I still need to thicken it up a little bit. So if you're getting flocculation like this, but your paints are nice and thick and you put a lot of pigment in, it could be because your pillow is slightly too wet still. So anyway, we're going to put a bit of this down. I'm just going to drizzle this everywhere. This is the golden light phthalo blue, and this is just going to be something a little bit better for the cell activator to sit on and get its teeth into before it starts kind of sinking around everywhere. So here we go, guys. This is kind of what I did for the coasters. Yes, of course. Yes. I'm going to do that, darling, when we go over the prize, the competition again at the end. Okay, well, actually, before we blow this out, we can just quickly say, please, guys, if you could go onto our group, onto the Acrylic Pouring for Beginners on Facebook, and pinned right at the top of the page, there is a brand new competition by our leader, Aman G. He's very kindly giving away a 18 by 24 inch, I just had to look quickly, an 18 by 24 inch print of his recent piece, Primordial. It's absolutely beautiful. All of the details are in the post that's pinned at the top of the page, all the ways to enter, and everything's there. So please, guys, please go to our page and invest that and enter into G's competition to win a print of his latest piece. Okay, friends, so that's enough chat. We're going to go back down to the bloom, and sorry for the jerky camera movement for a little while. Now, I hope I haven't waffled on too much, because when we've got pre-mixed up cell activator, we want to give it a really good stir, because it doesn't look like it separates, but you know, it just wants to be stirred each time before we use it. Right, okay, friends, here we go. Pressure is on. I'm going to put some down. Here we go. And let's just take this back. So hopefully I'm not going to completely cover it when I blow it out. Oh. All right, here we go, guys. I talked for too much. The paint started to not really go too good. I left it a bit too long, I feel. I think I left the paint a little too long, and I may have put a little bit too much of the cell activator on it. But let's just get the straw out. And just by blowing it, you give the cell activator more places to actually sink, because it's sinking here, and the paint that's underneath it is being brought up through it. That's how the cell activators actually work. But here we go, guys. I'll give you a close-up. I'm not really that thrilled with it, but for doing all the talking I was doing and leaving the paint for as long as I was, and also using the old paints that I tried to rejuvenate with the Joa, with the water and the Jo Sonja varnish, you can see if I hadn't have talked so long, maybe we might have had a slightly better result. But as you can see, because the consistencies, you know, I tried to match them all as they should be by adding a little bit of more water. But by rejuvenating old paints, you're really playing around with the consistencies too much. And if they're not spot on, they're going to get kind of this kind of reaction, which isn't the best as I'm looking at it here. But again, we can never judge it until we spin it. Okay, so I'm just going to wet the edges, and I am praying that when I spin it, it's going to look like eye candy, not like a help me out here, Christy, not like a what? Like a hot mess. There we go, a hot mess. Oh dear. Right, okay, guys, so, oh, here we go. Why not? Because, you know, it is what it is. Let's practice some modification on it, okay? So, here we go. I'm going to just take the camera out a little bit. There we go. It's kind of sorry if the picture's a bit wonky in the shot. I'm sorry. But we can practice some modifications on this. It looks good. Thank you, Christy. Okay, so I'm just going to go in. It's a nice kind of rhythmical movement to your hand. It's got like a nice flow. So you move your hand around nicely like this, like you're doing cursive handwriting, or basically just kind of, you know, like writing in the air with your finger. It's that kind of nice fluidity we're looking for, and that's what helps give us the really nice modifications. So I'm going to go straight in here, and I'm going to go round and then out, and then in here, and then change direction, do a loop there, do another loop here, out and around, loop this bit here. And now I can see these cells here are quite nice, so I'm going to loop those, then go in, loop those little bits of cells, come out here, loop this whole group, back in, loop that one, back out. See, as you're doing it, you just kind of find little areas that you'd want to loop. And like that one there, you just stop and then do the little spiral in. It's just doodling, basically doodling. If you want to practice and you don't actually want to, you know, do it to a bloom in paint and stuff like that, literally just get yourself a pencil and a piece of paper and just doodle these kind of little circular round patterns like this. And then we get these lovely modifications. How does that look, Christy? Christy's saying it looks awesome. She wished she could do it. Christy, you can. You've almost mastered it. It's fantastic. With the help of Wombat and with the help of the family, you've been doing really great. Okay, friends, so that's enough chatting. That's enough chatting. Let's get to spinning, and we're going to see this. So again, spinning, how fast you're going to spin, you're going to see this nicely, and you're going to see the paint make it to the edge of the board and just be caught by the actual board. Okay, so I do one way, then the other way. So it's a nice, decent spin, and I can see the piece growing. I can see paint starting to make it to the board. I put my finger here, and it catches any drips that get onto the board and are making it on their way out. And there we go. And you can see over the edge, here we go, let's use this one. The cell structure over the edge is quite nice. That's what I like to try and get and keep. So I'm only going to spin it again the other direction. Oh, this drip, look at that, that drip, this guy almost made it to the teddy bear shirt. So no, I'm gonna just wipe that. Okay friends, so now we're gonna do the anti-clockwise spin. Okay, so I let it spin for a little bit longer than a lot of other artists. Like I said, that's because I like the pillow to make it to the edge and float all the way over the edge. And just like this, see guys, you can see that lovely cell structure over the edge. It's beautiful. Right, huh? Oh, okay. I'm being told by my lovely assistant that this edge is quite pretty too. So I just love it where we get those lovely cell structure. It just flows over the edge and just stays there. It doesn't stretch down and we lose it. So there we go, my friends. This is an interesting bloom, let's say. Do we need to spin it again? No, we don't. There's hardly any movement. So there we go, guys. I call this color palette the ice color palette, or ice vine. I've used it for the ice vines before. I am very, very happy with this color palette. I'm really quite amazed that I even came up with it myself too. If I'd have seen it anywhere, I would absolutely give credit to other artists. And let's just mention that for a second, friends. Please give the credit to the artists that have inspired you. And again, this has been being done for so long now that pretty much, I believe, nearly everything has been done. Not quite everything, but everything is almost been done already with this blooms and swipes and the acrylic art. All we can really hope to do is emulate those that inspire us the most and put our own spin on it with our style and our flair, like I have here, because obviously we've got to give it up. I don't know for sure whether Shelley Carruthers, the lovely lady in Australia whose amazing online course a lot of us have taken and is absolutely amazing. I can't say for sure whether she invented this because I don't know. But what I can say is that she is absolutely a pioneer of this art form. And without her and other artists that inspire me, like Lisa Marvin, I wouldn't know anything about it and I wouldn't be making this video for you guys now. So I'll give you a nice little close up on it, my friends. And I shall try to kind of move it around so you can get the interference piggies. There you go. I hope you're getting a good shot of that. Is that looking okay, Christy? So there we go, my friends. And I'm just going to pan out of here and pan up to my ugly mug again. Hello, friends. I just saw a message pop up, but it left. Okay then, my friends. So that's it. We've been doing this for 112 minutes, which is 8 minutes off 2 hours straight, which is fantastic. I can't believe I've been able to entertain you for so long doing this. Thank you, my friends, so much for joining me. This has been an absolute blast and a hoot. Thank you so much to my family, and I'm going to try not to get emotional. My lovely family of Christy, Darren, Bridget, and G. Without you guys, I can't remember what life was like before having you as friends. I really can't. I can't remember how I even managed before. So thank you so much, my friends. Thank you for everyone that subscribes. Thank you for everyone that has watched me. And oh, this is perfect timing because my earphones have just run out of juice, so I'm going to lose Christy soon. So I'm going to say thank you very much. Oh, next week's colours. Well done, Sean. Thank you. Next week's colours. So we've still got those nice affordable dollar store paints. Okay, guys. What we are going to do next week is, if you would like to go to the dollar store, and I can get these deco arts from my dollar store. I can only get them in this colour, the peacock pearl, a red and a white. I don't have a vast selection from the dollar store, but this is available from the dollar store. So what we're going to do next week is use the same budget-friendly paint, but we're going to see what happens when we put metallics in with that dollar store paint. Okay, my friends, again, let me just quickly mention the competition. Don't forget to please enter, please subscribe to my channel, watch video number 51, leave a comment saying JOP for the joy of pouring, and then giveaway. And we'll be releasing the winners in 2 weeks' time. Thank you so much, my friends. I love you all. Ciao. Oh, and of course, as always, happy pouring.